Our next roulette shows what can happen when you give in to your impulses. Please welcome Jonathan Woods.
Great crowd out here tonight. Why don't you give yourselves an applause? This is my first time here. I actually snuck in from San Marcos, where I live. And I'm a writer of pulpy crime fiction. So anything that I write is a wild dream. And I'm going to read two short pieces that I recently wrote. They sort of came out of nowhere in the middle of doing a lot of revisions to a novel that I just finished. So the first piece is, these are sort of flash fiction pieces, very short, 700 words. The first piece is called Bus Stop. Call me Ishmael. I waited for a bus on a modest commercial street. You've been there 1,000 times. Car wash, taco truck, cut-rate gas, a second-hand store, a small bank branch, no sidewalks. One other person stood at the bus stop, dark-haired, rail-thin, mid-20s or thereabout, with a sharp nose, thin lips, and black nail polish. Her sleeveless white t-shirt said, "Fuck the horse you rode in on." A bat tat fluttered over one bare shoulder. My eyes met her steel blue ones. "Hi," I said. "Hey, waiting for a bus?" "Yeah, and you?" "Same." "Cool. What's your name?" "Robin." "Robin what?" "Robin Banks." "You're kidding." "Why should I be? It's just so weird and kind of funny." "How so?" "That's what I do." "What?" "Rob banks." "Yeah, right. God's truth. I suppose your name's Robert." "Rob for short?" "Actually, it's Bill, short for William." "Now that's funny." "Yeah, hoot." "Actually, it's not that funny." "No? I just found out my boyfriend, Bill, is sleeping around." "What are you going to do?" "Nothing." "Nothing?" "Nothing." "You're just going to let it go?" "Yeah, fuck him." "I get that." "Do you?" "The same thing happened to me once." "What did you do?" "I went to visit my mother." "Did it help?" "She was terminally ill. It was the least I could do." "But what about your girlfriend?" "Actually, it was my boyfriend." "Oh. Are you surprised?" "A little." "Yeah, not many gay bank robbers. How many gay bank robbers do you meet at a bus stop?" "If you rob banks, where's your fancy getaway car?" "I'm in a slump." "Well, there's a bank across the street. If you're for real, you should hold it up." "I'd have to case it first." "I knew you were bullshitting me." I unzipped my sport duffel and held it open. A .45 semi-auto rested on a fresh t-shirt. "Proof enough?" "Oh, a big gun. You must have a tiny dick." "What?" "I dare you to walk across the street right now and rob that bank. Then hijack a car so we can amscray out of here with the loot." "We?" "Yeah, we. I'll even let you ravish me." As if I'd be interested in that sort of thing. "Oh, right, I forgot. So what's in it for me?" "I make a mean spaghetti and meatballs. Your slump would be over, and we could get a motel room with a kitchenette." Bottle of Chianti, Greek salad, garlic bread, maybe a cannoli for dessert. "Your move, Bill." We waited for a break in the traffic, then scooted across 4 lanes. "I'll wait out here," she said. "Keep an eye out." The bank personnel consisted of 2 tellers and a manager on the phone. I pulled my cap low, walked up to the window of the Mexican-looking teller, and leaned on the counter. How may I help you? I've got a gun. Give me all the cash in your drawer and in hers. I nodded toward the skinny white girl teller who looked like she'd just graduated high school. If you make a fuss, you're dead meat. Her eyes went in circles, but she did what I told her, whispering to the other teller about what was happening before emptying her drawer. The manager never looked up from her desk. I swept the money into the duffel. Do nothing, I said. Otherwise, I'll come back and kill you. I showed her the gun. When I pushed through the glass front door, Robin hit me in the head with a 2x4. I went down like a rock thrown into a pond. Picking up the duffel, Robin took out the .45 and pointed it at me. I figured I was done for, dead. Then she glanced behind her. A bus, like a great white whale, was pulling up to the bus stop. It's your lucky day, Bill. She turned and ran, helter-skelter across the street. The car honked and swerved, but she made it. Moments later, I saw her silhouette moving down the aisle inside the bus. Before the cops arrived, I got up and hobbled away, disappearing into a neighborhood of small brick ranches. Call me Ishmael. By the way, for Halloween, I decided to dress as a poor man's Tom Wolfe. I couldn't afford a white suit, so I got a white jacket, and then I found a pair of pants to go.
No wonder I like you.
Okay, this next story is called A Woman I'd Been Seeing, and there's just two things I want to mention before I read it. There's a restaurant mentioned in it called the Selkas, and it's a famous Hungarian restaurant located on the Lower East Side in New York on 2nd Avenue. And it stays open really late so that all the party animals can go there and have borscht or whatever late at night. And the second thing is I make mention of a French writer named Georges Simenon, who you may have heard of. He wrote a lot of mystery stories with a police detective named Maigret. And he also wrote another bunch of stories that are sort of psychological thrillers. But the really interesting thing about him is he claimed that during his life he slept with 10,000 women. Many of them, I think, were probably prostitutes. But anyway, that was his claim. So here goes. A woman I'd been seeing. Helena, a woman I've been seeing off and on, and who works over at the National Enquirer, texted me a picture of Jeff Bezos' junk. You know, the one that's been getting all the media attention. How had she come by it? Was it just floating around the office for all and sundry to contemplate, like the Oracle of Delphi? Or did she have a special inside connection to the top brass, among whom iPhone snaps of famous dicks suitable for blackmail would have limited circulation? When the image arrived in my inbox, I glanced at it, read Helena's comment, "This is the one, JB is totally amazing, yes?" It looked pretty nebbish to me. But the full frontal issue for me was its provenance. Was it really his, or a clever forgery? I mean, the junk in the JPEG from Helena wasn't tattooed with the name Bezos or his initials, and no chain of custody had been established like the cops were required to have for admissible evidence. I'm a big Law and Order fan. All I had was Helena's word for its authenticity, and she definitely didn't score 100% on the truth-o-meter, more like 67. There was the time when she said she had a stomach bug and needed to stay home close to the ceramic bus. That night I spotted her in the Selkas with some guy in a suit. They were eating stuffed cabbage and laughing at 1 a.m. I didn't call her for a week. Then there was the weekend she went to Cleveland because her mother was ill. It was February. Nobody goes to Cleveland in February. I later found out she went to Miami, probably with the same guy. I discovered the airline stub in her apartment, interleaved as a bookmark in Portnoy's complaint. Ergo, that Helena said it was Jeff's meant diddly squat. It could have been anybody's. Then it occurred to me, how many peckers had Helena been involved with in the 28 years? 5? 15? 100? It's a subject we never discussed, and frankly, I didn't want to discuss it now. What if she turned out to be the female equivalent of George Simenon? Jealousy swept over me like a riptide, tearing me out to deep waters. I was sure the JPEG prick belonged to the guy in the suit. As it was mid-November and sleeting, I put on my tweed overcoat, my gray Bogart-style Borsalino, and a scarf. In my pocket rested the snub-nosed .38 my roommate had asked me to keep while he went to prison for armed robbery. I took a cab to 2nd Avenue. It was my lucky night. There he was, the suit guy, sitting at a table in Veselka's, but not with Helena. A skinny blonde faced him, scoop neck t-shirt, no bra. She looked cold. They were both eating borscht with sour cream and drinking beer. I took a seat at the counter, ordered a decaf tea, and waited. Soon enough, he went to the men's room. I decided not to approach the blonde and show her the pic. Is this his? It would have been too weird. Instead, I followed him. He was standing at the urinal, drunk in hand, mind somewhere. I stepped up behind, jammed the snub nose of the .38 in his ear. He blanched. Show me your pecker, I said. The one in the JPEG Helena sent? It wasn't his. I clubbed him on the side of the head anyway. He slumped forward, I fled. Later that night, the truth hit me. Helena was sleeping with JB. I read in the Times he was coming to New York about the new Amazon HQ. According to the paparazzi and the glam gossip sites, he always stayed at the St. Regis. Then Amazon dumped its New York plans, but that didn't mean JB wouldn't come to the city to catch a Broadway play, to see Helena. Every day, like Elijah Cook Jr. in the Maltese Falcon, I sit in the lobby of the St. Regis, hidden behind my copy of the Daily News, the .38 in my pocket, waiting. I haven't heard from Helena lately.